Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Low FIDO Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License Lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyreek.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to ruin a catch by Manning.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to John About the G-Men, the Giants Football Podcast. I'm Big J, joined by Joe Guire, Sean Scanlon, and King Zay. And we were having an interesting conversation during the pre-show, but we will get to that when we talk about some of the big trades that happened this past week. But let's start off around the league. Big names getting traded even today with Tyreek Hill, but we'll get to that. Let's start off with the Giants, though. We are just over a month and 3 days out from the NFL draft. Most of free agency has been taken care of. Yeah, there's still some guys here and there, but all the big names are gone. Now, if you're Joe Shane, big draft, 2 first-round draft picks, who is at the top of your draft board if you're Joe Shane? Joe?
I don't think it matters who is at the top of his draft board. I think, look, the Giants are in a full rebuild here, which is the thing that we wanted. And I think you're going to just take whoever the 2 best players available are at 5 and 7, or maybe they'll trade back, but I don't think it matters. I mean, again, right? We talked about this a couple weeks ago. If you're going to move on from Bradbury, you're going to draft Gardner. You're thinking long-term because that subtracting Bradbury and adding Gardner doesn't make the Giants that much better of a team. Maybe doesn't make them better at all. Now you have a less experienced, very dynamic cornerback, but that doesn't upgrade your team. If you were to go out and draft a quarterback at number 7, I mean, what is that? It doesn't make the Giants better. Now you have 2 quarterbacks who you're not sure can handle an NFL offense. So there's a lot of moves the Giants can make. If you're thinking about this season, it's obvious. Offensive line, defensive edge. If you're thinking about long-term prospects here, then you got to take the 2 best players that are presented to you at 5 and 7, or again, do some wheeling and dealing and try to pick up more picks or swap a one here and grab another one next year when maybe there's more money to be had next year. The Giants will have about $88 million to spend next offseason. So they can really do some things and really figure things out. I think this draft has to be about finding guys that fit long-term with the Giants.
Joe, question from Sander.
What would make the Giants better? Getting Deshaun Watson and having a healthy running back, having receivers that could catch, a tight end who held on and made big catches, an offensive line other than Andrew Thomas that can block people, a defensive line that can get to the quarterback, linebackers who are playmakers, and a secondary that doesn't get burned all the time. All of those things. And that's what the Giants need a lot. And they've done a nice job picking up a lot of little bits and pieces, guys that can that'll be able to play right away. That will, again, I don't know. They just picked up that Ellis, who was with the Ravens last season, a guy that plays about 20% of defensive snaps. Again, he's a bridge with Austin Johnson gone. He won't be there next year. So now you're at the point where you got to plug some spots in here. But again, this draft for the Giants, this isn't a draft for 2022. This is a draft for 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there, Joe, because I mean, my thought process the whole time has been like, yeah, just O-line, maybe edge. But I mean, you're right. I mean, if it is a rebuild, you got to take what's the best available. Luckily, I do think as far as this draft class goes, it is O-line and edge rushers. But I mean, if there is a prospect that is just the talent outweighs the need.
Jace, if the immediate need, like the guys available fill the immediate need, that's a bonus. If you end up drafting an offensive lineman and a defensive end, it seems to solve two of the biggest problems they have. I get that. I just thought it's not going to translate onto the field into a lot of wins in 2022. So I still think, however it shakes, you got to be looking at 2023 and beyond.
No, yeah, I mean, you're completely right. I mean, Sean, do you agree? Do you think no, I mean, you're right as far as building. I think.
Oh, I know I'm right. Just because Zay's shaking his head no doesn't mean anything.
No, I mean, if you want that quick fix, I mean, you can obviously just go for need, but I do think luckily we're in a draft. There's not going to be guys that are that much spectacular over the need this year. So
when I hear them talk about Hamilton as being like a generational talent safety, it makes me want that guy. Because, again, I'm not thinking about just this season, but, him and McKinney for the next 10, 12 years would be pretty dynamite.
Yeah, you're right. That is really the only name that has come up that I maybe could squeeze in there over an edge guy or an old lineman. But, Sean, do you like that? Do you think someone like a Hamilton can squeeze in there, or are you just with O-line edge for this at the top of Joe Shane's draft board?
Well, I agree with what Joe was saying that you need to look long-term, but at the same time, I think that it doesn't mean it can't be an O-lineman or an edge rusher because that is still looking long-term and down the line. I get that you need to replace guys like Logan Ryan leaving, James Bradbury, it seems like it's inevitable that he's going to get traded at some point. So obviously you need to fill in those spots, but I do think still our biggest need and something that will help us down the line is O-line and edge rusher because if you look at our defense, we haven't had an elite edge rusher since JPP left, really, and after 2016. Our offensive line, other than Andrew Thomas, is absolutely atrocious right now. I mean, we filled in some decent spots in free agency with some of the guards play, but we still need that right tackle really badly. I think that it's pretty obvious, and there's a lot of teams that I think are going to pass on them early in the draft. So hopefully a guy like Evan Neal or Charles Cross or Ike Ekwonu, I feel like one of them is going to be there at least at number 5. So I think you have to look in that direction. But I do agree with what you're saying. You can't pass up on talent just because we have someone there right now. If Kyle Hamilton or Sauce Gardner is there at 5 or 7, you definitely have to give them a look. And then even if a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, I know that Jason Zay weren't big fans of him, but I mean, he's still the elite prospect is there. Obviously, there's some concern or attitude concerns, but I think that Joe Shane and Brian Dable will be able to get that football love out of him because he is an elite prospect. You can't pass up on that, and especially for a team that needs an elite edge rusher. If he was there, I don't know how you could try or go ahead and pass up on him. So I agree with your long-term stance, but at the same time, I think that, this does help you in the long term trying to get an O-line to help. Because if Daniel Jones is your quarterback and this is his big prove-it year, you're going to have to try and protect him. Obviously, you need your weapons healthy, but you're going to need that O-line, even for when Daniel Jones isn't there down the line. Hopefully he is, but you're going to need that O-line to build around. And you also need an edge rusher. That's the most premium position on your defense. So I get what you're saying, and I agree with it. But at the same time, I think that there's a reason why they're the two biggest needs is because we haven't had them in a long time for the Giants. And that's one of the biggest reasons that the Giants have been a dumpster fire for the past, 5 or 6 years now.
I don't have any problem with 5 and 7 being edge and O-line for sure. I mean, but my thought is if you're thinking this is an immediate, it's going to make us a much better team in 2022. That's kind of, I think the expectations that fans have is that the Giants are going to fix this in a couple of weeks in this draft, that they're going to be able to plug and play enough stuff. And I don't think there's enough picks. There's not enough picks for the Giants to get to make up the talent gaps. That's really what I think.
You done? Y'all done crying? I just want to know if y'all done crying already. Y'all done?
I don't think there's no emotion in my voice. I think I've been rational and calm.
Not the old
man. I kept my
ranting.
tears in.
I'll answer your question.
I could be crying talking about the Giants, but I sucked it up.
I'll answer your question, Jace. Sauce Gardner is definitely the guy you have to go after if you're going to get rid of Bradbury, in my opinion. The secondary isn't that strong, and if you're going to get rid of Bradbury, you have to bring in someone who can at least play corner. Because I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I do know it's a rebuild process, that division is still wide open. As bad as it is to say, the Cowboys got worse. They've lost a lot of players. We see Amari Cooper went to Cleveland. We know their running back situation is up in the air, and their quarterback is a black Kirk Cousins, and it never works out for him.
You're the only person on this show that can say that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I use my privilege.
Thank you for doing that.
See, I acknowledge my privilege. Wow. We obviously know the Commanders have gotten worse since they picked up the quarterback. I can't be more happier than that. And the Eagles are inept at the quarterback position because they don't even know what they want to do. They're talking about bringing back Nick Foles for a fourth time or whatever it is. So that division is absolutely wide open. If you're the Giants coaching staff and GM, you have to think about it that way too. So you're going to want to bring in players who can make an impact immediately. For me, that's Sauce Gardner. Obviously, you can go and get offensive linemen with your 7th pick. Obviously, I think this draft is a lot deeper than players and people are making it. You can get a pass rusher later. There ton of pass rushing prospects, not to mention David Ojugbo, who tore his Achilles. If you really want to sneak that in, you can sneak that probably late in the draft and sign him. And when he gets healthy, that could be a huge steal because teams may pass up on him. So there's a lot of options for the Giants, and I'm not going to just sit here and just put them out like they're not going to compete. I think they're going to compete, and I think they're going to try to make something happen in this division that's all up in the air. So for me, like I said, I want Sauce Gardner. I would love Hamilton, but I think the Jets losing their safety and losing May, I think that's who they're going to target, and they have the pick right before us. It only makes sense. So Gardner for me, if you're going to get rid of Bradbury.
I like that. I like that. And Zay, I mean, while you're talking about that, you're right. And I mean, this is kind of wide open. This division's wide open, and I think this, and it's a very, very deep draft. I think the thing with that not being a lot of quarterbacks is turning people away. But I will say the best thing for the Giants as far as this draft goes is there is no stud quarterback. Because I can see with Joe Shane coming in, making a big move with these 2 draft picks, trading up, going to get a guy somewhere. And I think that wouldn't necessarily be best for the Giants, like immediately when you can go out, and I think you might be able to steal some games in this tough NFC least and maybe pull off something. 6-10 almost won the Giants the division 2 years ago. So it being outside the realm of possibility is
it probably helped that Dak Prescott was also out for the year that season.
Look, he was there last year. He didn't do it. I mean, he fell apart at the end also. So We know what Dak
Right,
Prescott
but
is.
early in the season, he played so well that the division was so far out of the Giants' reach. It
So
wasn't
does
even
Kyler.
funny.
So does Kyler Murray.
the
He played
Eagles-
great in the
Look,
beginning.
you guys, let's get realistic
Doesn't
here.
justify
Let's get
anything.
realistic. Carson Wentz in Washington, that's a much better football team than it was. Yeah, that's a
Okay,
fact.
yeah, that is.
That team,
Carson
say what
Wentz
you
who-
want about Carson Wentz, but
who blew it to the Jaguars. The perfect setup, the perfect team, and you blow it to get into the playoffs against the worst team in the NFL. This is the guy you got confidence in?
no, I don't have confidence in him. But
This
to
is the guy that
suggest
makes
that
that takes
I've
that
got
team
more
over the top.
confidence in
That's what takes
Carson
him over
Wentz
the
than I
top.
do in Daniel
Okay.
Jones. I have more
That's-
confidence in Dak
I
Prescott
don't even know
than I
about
do
that.
in
I
Daniel
don't even-
Jones.
I don't even know.
I
about
have
that.
more confidence in Daniel Jones than I do in
think it's
Jalen Hurts.
50-50 with
So
those two.
I do
Carson
think the
Wentz is
Giants
always a
will
turnover
finish
waiting
in
to
third
happen.
place.
He's always a
Wait, hold on, time out. If you have more confidence in Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles just went to the playoffs, why can't the Giants do that? Why can't the Giants squeeze in a wild card?
Because the Eagles have a better roster overall.
Yes.
Again, a team that
Wow.
lost big pieces like Fletcher Cox, they lost a ton on it. They lost offensive
Fletcher
line.
Cox is back with the Eagles.
I thought he left. He came back.
He signed a 1-year
Yeah.
deal with them.
Oh, okay.
And also, I mean, the talent-wise for the Giants, I think there's a glaring issue last year in the head coaching, and I think Brian Dable's a big. I think you want to talk about talent all you want. I think coaching is going to be a big thing.
That's funny coming
really
from
gonna
you.
show the Giants. What? Why's that funny coming from me?
You would never admit that last year.
Yeah, I did.
No, late you did.
What?
Late.
Yeah, because it was falling apart.
Yeah, it was always falling apart.
After Jay.
Falling
after
apart for
Garrett
preseason.
left,
What did you say?
and they was
It
still
It
falling
never
apart.
wasn't. It never wasn't falling apart with
It was
this team.
falling apart
You're
when
not wrong.
Kadarius Toney came out wearing the wrong cleats. I knew that season was over. When he had the wrong size cleats. When the training staff couldn't get it together.
And
So
look,
this-
here's the other thing. I know we all like Brian Dable, but we don't know if this is the right guy for the job yet. We don't know if this is going to be another two and bounce. You know what I mean? You're hoping. It seems like these guys are doing the right things. Again, I think the fact that they're clearly looking at 2023 as the season where they're going to be able to do some things. Like I said, $88 million in cap space will be available to the Giants. I assume another premium pick in the draft, unless, listen, maybe Daniel Jones throws 30 touchdowns this year. Maybe Daniel Jones throws for
Listen.
4,000 yards. Maybe Daniel Jones has 800 yards rushing this year.
Daniel Jones hasn't even thrown for 3,000 yards.
Okay, well, so there you go. You just told me they might win the division, and I'm telling you how, and you're telling me that's not going to happen. So there you go.
No, I didn't say no.
Maybe 4 and 13.
I didn't say no.
Maybe
I
5
didn't say
and
it wasn't
12.
gonna happen.
That's
I
as
said
good as
your
it's going to get.
numbers weren't going to happen. I
You
didn't
think the
say-
Giants are going to win 10 games if he throws for 12
They don't
touchdowns?
have to
Come
win 10
on.
games.
Yes, you do.
I don't think
Dude, if Daniel Jones doesn't throw for 25 touchdowns, then the Giants probably win 3 games this year.
well, he could do that. That he could do. 30 plus. I don't know.
25, 30. We're in the
I don't-
ballpark.
He threw 24 2 years ago.
Right.
He has a coach now
Again,
that knows
I
how to
think
call
he's got
plays.
the abilities to do it. Maybe this is the guy that unlocks him like they unlocked Josh Allen, but you just told me you think they're going to be competitive. They're not going to be competitive if Daniel Jones doesn't play very well. If Saquon Barkley's not healthy, if they don't figure out the offensive line and how to block people, if they don't start putting pressure on quarterbacks. Okay?
Yeah, but it
That's
isn't
the
outside
only
of
way
the
they're
realm.
going to win
That's
football
called playing
games.
football.
And there's no
But-
reason for me to
literally,
think
that's-
anything's changed from last year yet. Nothing's
You
changed.
didn't make a point just now. You just all you said was if they don't win games, they don't play football. Yeah,
Why
obviously.
can't all that stuff happen then, Joe?
No,
Why can't
But
That's a
that
lot.
happen?
That's a
this
lot to
year.
ask in one off season.
Why didn't it happen this year? How do you guys think they're
Because
going
Joe
from having
Judge
the
is a
number 5th
buffoon.
pick that they're going to, win a division?
Be real.
I would
Be
love
real.
that. But
Honestly, can
where
we
do
be real
you
about
see
Joe
that
Judge for-
happening? If you
Can
don't
we be-
think Daniel Jones is
Can-
going to light it up this
Joe,
year, how do the
Joe,
Giants make the
can
Can we
playoffs?
be real
Somebody
about
tell
Joe
me.
Judge for a
You want
second?
to know how the Giants make the playoffs? Because it's the
Tyrod
NFC
Taylor.
East. Look at the NFC East. All the past couple years, you see how these teams. It's going all over the place as far as who wins. It's because all these
Dallas
teams
and
are so
Philly
easy.
every year. What are you talking about? It's
No,
Dallas and Philly every
the
year.
Washington football team won it.
Are
2
better
years
than the
ago.
Giants too,
But
right?
listen,
We're just always
no,
looking up
But
at
the
all
thing
3
is,
teams.
listen, Joe, listen. The thing with that is when you're at the bottom of your division, you play the bottom of the division next year. Giants are not going to be playing the second in every division that they face.
The Giants are worse than almost every team in the NFC.
That's
not going to help.
And standings from last year don't really mean much. I mean, a lot of teams make improvements and change their rosters year after year.
That was incredible. Yeah.
Those standings mean something because that's how this division has played out the past forever amount of time.
Let's start this over again. Ready? Let's try this again. Daniel Jones going to throw for 25 touchdowns. He's gonna throw for 3,300 yards. He's gonna run for 300 yards. And 6 touchdowns on the ground. Am I warmer or no? Because again, if Daniel Jones throws for 2,500 yards and he's got 10 touchdowns and 14 picks, then you guys are out of your minds.
Why do you keep talking about the Giants like they absolutely have nothing going for them on offense? If this makeshift line that they have could get him some sort of time, there are weapons out there that he can hit.
Yeah.
Kenny Golladay, when he is playing well, is an elite receiver in the league.
Yes.
Kadarius Toney, from what we've seen when he plays, has shown bright spots that he can be something in this league. That's not just say like this team has absolutely nothing on the roster. They can make things happen.
My 6-year-old just came over and asked me why I'm yelling at you guys. And I was like, because they have no idea what they're talking about. And he was like, oh, got it. And he walked away.
It's crazy.
Again, the Giants will go as far as Daniel Jones will take them. So if you don't think Daniel Jones is going to play well in 2022, tell me some crazy scenario where he plays like crap. What does Saquon run for 2,600 yards and 35 touchdowns? Then tell me that's what you think's going to happen.
It's not.
But if Kenny Galladay's going to go off, who's going to throw him the goddamn ball? Barkley? Come on.
Daniel Jones.
Baker.
So let's say it then. So say Baker then. Tell me Tyrod Taylor's going to come in and do some damage.
Baker. Please,
but listen, it's as simple as that Daniel Jones is the starter. If he doesn't play well, they're not sniffing the division or a wild card or anything but the bottom of the division.
That's the obvious thing in football. That's obvious.
Hold on.
Tom Brady doesn't play well, the Bucks don't make the playoffs.
Yes.
If Pat Mahomes doesn't play well,
but again,
that's obvious.
You guys scoffed at the numbers I threw out for Daniel Jones. You scoffed like there was no way he was going to do that.
No,
and I'm wrong.
He can do that. He can do that. Joe, he just has to stay healthy. He has to stay healthy. Look at last year. Last year, he was playing great at the beginning of the year, and then the play calling blew up, and they were he was dropping back 40 times a game, or he was dropping back like 10. It was on and off, and that's why he was doing terrible. They were asking him to do too much. You have a competent guy in Brian Dable who I think can, if anything, maybe he can't call great plays. Maybe he isn't as creative, whatever, but at least, compared to Joe Judge, he can mix in the run game and the pass game at the same time. It can't just be 40 times running the football, 40 times passing the football every game. That's the biggest issue from last year to me, and I think that's what's going to make Daniel Jones a better quarterback. He just has to stay healthy. That's on the O-line. And if you can just get one guy to step up, and I think that O-line can be serviceable and keep Daniel Jones healthy, and he can put up those numbers to they were competing for the playoff spot 2 years ago with Daniel Jones and Joe Judge. So why can't they do it with Brian Dable?
They were also 6-10 in that season. It never happens.
Why can't they go 6-12 and win the division and make the playoffs?
Because everyone else is going to win 10 games.
Obviously, we know.
Why? How?
How? Because the Cowboys still have one of the better offenses in the league.
Yeah,
the Eagles just made the playoffs, and Commanders just got better with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, the Eagles.
This division is so up and down every year. You can't guarantee that the Cowboys are going to come in and be the Cowboys like they were last year.
Yeah, you said that there's been like a new division winner like every year, but you know the only team that hasn't won it, like the last team to win it out of all of us, is the Giants in 2011. It's all 3 other teams tossing around the division every year, and the Giants haven't won it since 2011. That's
Sean, like I was trying to say when they cut me off and started screaming at me.
Wait, did we win 20?
We're always looking up at the other 3 and thinking we're close, and it's like, no, they're just all in front of you, idiots. You're at the bottom. You're always looking up.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter
2016
what
we
the
were
top three order
2016
is.
we were a wild card. Dallas won it. Dallas went 13-3 that year.
I thought we were.
Nope.
Damn, we were like what 11-5 that year. Something. What were we
Yep.
rated?
Dallas had 3 losses. 2 of them were to us.
Oh yeah.
We haven't won the division since 2011.
You're also suggesting that though. I mean, not for nothing, but look, Washington took a huge step backwards last year. That defense was to be top 5. It was god awful. It was one of the worst in the league.
Again, you can't assume. Just again, you can't assume a team is going to be good or bad just off.
Yes, you can. You can
No, you
assume that,
can't.
and then they'll prove us
You
right or
can't.
wrong.
You
But I
can't.
can make assumptions.
You
I
can't
can make
that-
assumptions
'cause
based
look,
on what happened
look,
last
'cause
year and
like-
what improvements have been made.
Miami's the perfect example. We don't know what they're going to be next year, but on
paper, they should be an explosive and fast offensive
but
team.
we don't know what they're going to be.
I understand that. Obviously, that's why the game happens, and that we don't just look at the thing and go, "Well,
we can't just assume
no-brainer."
off the offseason.
But you have to assume.
No, you can't.
You do. You have to assume. In a
Okay.
few weeks, we're going to
No
ask
one-
you to
no
assume
one
each and every
seen-
division.
No
in
one seen the Bengals coming out last year. Look what they did.
I
in the
did.
offseason.
I did. Ask the Keys brothers. I spent all last year talking about that team was really good, and I thought that team was going to be a contender in 2022. And I think the Giants, if they play their cards right, and with all the money they'll have next year, can really make a run at things in 2023. They'll have a ton. Listen, anything they don't get this draft, the next draft, they'll have $88 million to go get. That's a lot of fixins.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Money doesn't mean anything. You could bring in the best. You could pay as many people as you want. They don't perform. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to put that on a T-shirt. Money doesn't mean anything. Zach,
Again,
brilliant. Jay-Z's going to sing a rap song about that.
I'm sorry.
Money doesn't mean nothing.
What is money? It doesn't guarantee you stay. We paid Odell Beckham. It doesn't guarantee he stayed. It didn't guarantee he was going to give us the performance that we wanted from him.
Because the idiot traded him.
Right.
Even before he got traded, he wasn't playing that well. He was injured off and on. He had all types of shit
injured now.
He was really all the catch.
I don't know why we're even talking about. I don't even know why we're talking about.
You have $88 million.
I'm talking about $88 million to spend.
Top free agents. It doesn't mean it's going to translate to good field play. It doesn't mean it.
It's
about getting the right free agents.
Zay, is it more likely or is it less likely if I spend $88 million on new players, the top available players in their position, that I would be a better football team?
Joe, what about last year?
Look at the Eagles. Remember the Eagles had that super team that one year that turned out to be a flop? Things happen.
How much they get over?
Things happen, bro. You can't assume.
All right. Zay, what is the likelihood if I spend $88 million in free agency that every single player is going to be a bust?
Anything, you should be listening to me because I've been telling you things that you've been saying ain't going to happen, and it's been happening. So I think we should listen on my end because I've been right about certain things. Obviously, I wasn't here last week.
Not the head coach. Listen.
Dude, this guy, like for the stars he's reaching, isn't he? What are you talking about?
No,
bring it back.
I'm not assuming Washington is going to be a good team because they got Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz hasn't shown me anything that tells me he's going to be an elite quarterback.
Is he better than Taylor Heineke?
Honestly, I don't know.
Then they're a better football team than they were
I don't know. Heineke made the playoffs. He won the games he was supposed to win.
I don't think Heineke made the playoffs.
Oh, was it? Yes, it was. Was it Heineke that took him the year before?
It wasn't really him.
If their defense was struggling, then
he was the quarterback. I don't want to hear that.
A big impact on that.
I don't want to hear that. Carson Wentz has not. I don't think he's won a playoff game. Has he won one? I don't think he's won one. I don't think he's even played in one.
Bro, the Rams. Listen, I don't know. I think we need to take a break.
What's the move?
I don't even know what Sanders saying, but I totally agree with him.
Talking about, I guess Carson Wentz, like quarterbacks changing teams and coming in. Those are very true statements.
The Giants won in 2011. I think we just throw random statements out. Like, what the hell is he?
Right. I think what he's getting at is if you go get a good quarterback, you can win the Super Bowl. Maybe.
Okay. So the Broncos should win it this year. That's it. The Broncos are deadlocked to win it this year.
Anthony Price is a Washington fan, a fan of the Commodores and Lionel Richie. And he does not believe in Carson Wentz, dude. That's great. No, Sander, I don't mean Sanders says get on me.
He's a smart man.
Joe, get me on. Oh, he wants to. You bring him in. Bring Sander on.
He's a smart man.
Get him on here.
All right.
So we can hear about the Cowboys.
Let's take a
Listen,
break. Let's get
let's
Sander
take a
on here. We'll
break.
figure out
We'll
what he's
get
talking
Sander
about,
on
and
here.
I think he's going to tell Zay he's full of it.
Okay.
Listen, yeah, we need
I'm
to
waiting for this.
calm down a little bit too. So
Because
we'll
all
get
season we
Sander
would
on.
always dictate the great
Listen,
players.
I thought
we're
that was
coming
like
to
some kind of like you're coming
Yeah,
at
I
me,
thought I
like,
read it
dude.
backwards. I thought I read Joe get on me. I was like, wait, whoa,
I'm
this
like,
the
yeah,
wrong
I don't
show for this.
understand today's
Wrong
terms.
show
That
for
like,
this.
come on, get on me. Like,
All right.
nah.
Jawing about
Yeah.
the G-Men, not jawing about something else. That's what's going on here.
But all right, he can't get on you in golf, right, Joe? At the Cove Kids Classic.
There you
So make
go,
sure you
sir.
check that out.
Come on out for a day of fun to the Cove Kids Classic presented by Clarity. Friday, May 6, 2022 at Lyman Orchards Golf Club to benefit the Cove Center for Grieving Children. Partnership opportunities are available. All proceeds from the Cove Kids Classic support the Cove's free programs. Please consider partnering with us to continue to support grieving children and teens in 2022 and beyond. For more information or questions, call Allison Gamber at 203-634-0500 or email allison@covect.org. The Cove Kids Classic takes place Friday, May 6th at Lyman Orchards Golf Club. Registration begins at 8 a.m. Shotgun start at 9 a.m. on the player course. I'm hosting that thing.
Yeah.
I'm hosting it. Zay's going to be there.
Oh, here's Sander in the car. Don't crash, my man.
I don't even know if this is legal.
It's not, but I want to hear this. Sander, what you got, man?
Yeah, and he's muted.
Even God doesn't want to hear it.
You're muted,
You're
brother.
muted. There he is.
Yo,
Preach. What you got?
what's good, family? What's good? I'm just getting out of work, fellas, so, don't mind me. I'm not going to be looking at y'all, but I am going to be saying my piece. Listen, Zay, I believe what Joe is trying to get at is the fact that these teams are now taking chances. These teams are now putting the money out there on the players that are producing. Look at what the Rams just did this past season, throwing money to Von Miller to bring him in. Going for a trade. Bringing OBJ, bringing Matthew Stafford. Look at what these teams are doing in the AFC West. Bringing in Russell Wilson, bringing in Devontae Adams. These teams are going for it because they're no longer just waiting and sitting back. So if you can go out there and go get the players that are going to produce for you on the field and win you and get you to the next stage, these teams are going to do so. So for the Giants to have all that money going into next season, there's going to be players out there that are willing to take money and go play for the Giants if they throw them the bag. And that's all Joe is trying to say. You pay the player to bring the production. And if they bring the production, you're automatically going to be a better team, baby.
Hold on, Joe. Before you go, the Giants spent money on Kenny Galladay. A shit ton of money. How many
Well,
touchdowns did he score?
they also had half the
How many
season.
touchdowns
Half
did he
the
score?
season, Mike Glennon and Dennis Fromm there, whatever his name was throwing to him. That's not
Dennis
good.
Fromm.
Dennis Fromm.
Don't want it.
Denny Fromm.
Big Denny.
Hey, Zay, you made a really good point. You made a really good point. Listen,
I
Zay.
didn't say Joe was wrong about that. If you heard what I
Listen,
said,
Zay.
I said that does work, but you got to bring in the right players. It's
That's
not always
what I was
about
gonna
spending
get at.
money,
That's what
it's about bringing
I
in
was
the
gonna
right
get at, bro.
players.
That's what I was gonna get at, bro. You are 100%. You got to pay the right person.
You can
right.
spend all the money in the world. The Cowboys spend a ton on Zeke. He ain't done nothing for you since.
That wasn't a free agency. That was a draft. That's completely different.
Again,
That was completely different.
I'm talking about money being paid to players.
100%.
You paid him a ton
100%.
of money. He hasn't produced. What I'm getting at is just because you pay the players doesn't mean they're always going to produce. In the Rams case, yes,
Oh my
they
God!
got
No
lucky.
kidding.
But the Rams,
No, they didn't get lucky.
They almost
What
blew
are
it
you
multiple times
talking
in that
about?
playoff. We know they almost blew it. We always kept picking against them because they blew it so many goddamn times.
Listen,
no one was
Zay,
truly
Zay,
behind
Zay,
Stafford. I don't want to hear it. No one was
Zay.
truly behind Stafford all year. Everyone thought he was going to drop the ball at some point. Even I did. At the end of the day, things happen. It worked out for them. Doesn't work out for everyone. I bring back the Eagles again. They paid all that money. They got Vic. They got Nnamdi Asuma. They got all those players. They brought in all those players, and they sucked that year.
Hey,
happens.
for
When you
every
say-
example that you could show of a team that fumbled it, I could show you an example of a team that did the same thing and won a
Okay.
Super Bowl.
When
Yes.
you say bring in Brady,
A lot
Brady,
more of
you
them.
bring in
No,
Brady. Brady doesn't
listen,
come with
listen,
big numbers. That's
listen.
why Brady's situation
Hold on.
worked out. Brady doesn't take big numbers. If Brady was taking Aaron Rodgers' numbers, he would be screwed. Look at the Packers. They spent money on Rodgers. Who's he throwing the ball to? James?
100%.
Who is he throwing the ball to?
Zay, you're not wrong in the fact that you got to bring in the right person.
the-
you're not wrong in that
you can have
part.
all the
But
money
what
It's
I'm
all
saying
about
is-
the right
But
people.
what I'm
It's-
saying is you got to bring in the person.
Again, you can have all the money in the world, but rosters
No.
all going to continue to work the way they work. You're either heavy on the quarterback and not around the team, or you're spread around the team and you're heavy and you're less on the quarterback. That's how that
Well,
money
so-
works.
Well,
Don't
Zay,
tell
this
me-
is a copycat. This is a copycat league. The NFL is. So the fact that the last two,
Obviously not.
The last
Obviously
two,
not, because
the
they'd be
last
copying
two-
Brady if
Zay,
it was.
Zay,
Quarterbacks
the
would be
last two
taking
teams
less
to win a
and
Super
putting
Bowl-
money around.
All right,
the
all right,
quarterback.
hold up,
If
hold
it
up.
was a
Let me
copycat league.
let me bounce this off you for a minute, Zay. Let me see if I can get you to at least acknowledge this. Let's try this. Would you say the Giants having to shed $40 million this year to get under the salary cap before free agency and to be able to sign their draft picks, would you say that's a better situation than, say, next year when they'll have $88 million to spend?
Hold on.
Which scenario do you think is better
Hold
for
on.
building a championship team?
No, time
Having
out.
no
If
money
that's
or
the
having a
question-
lot of money?
If that's the question, there's two completely different. Building a championship team, you can build through the draft, and they have 2 draft picks this year. So to think the Giants can't make an impact, the same impact this offseason, this year as they can with all that money in 2023. Look at who the Rams just played in the Super Bowl. I'm bringing it up again. The Bengals. Those 2 first-round draft picks.
Hey,
brought
why
them to
didn't the
Super Bowl.
Giants sign Von Miller? That would have solved some problems on defense in the pass rush. Why didn't they go out
They
and sign
couldn't.
Von Miller? Is it because they don't have any money?
But
Yes.
listen, okay, it's
Would
not
they have the
about
money
money.
next
They
year to
can't
do
build
that?
it from the
Yes,
draft.
they
They
would.
can't use
That's
the
for
draft.
making my point
The
again.
draft, the draft can't be another avenue to bring in the right people.
It's not going to work, bro. I think Von Miller works now in a 1-2 punch. He can't be that solo rusher by himself and create that same havoc he used to. He's old now. He's older now. He's not the same Von Miller of years past, that early years of the Broncos. If you match him with someone, yes, he's going to be a threat. But just him on his own by the Giants, he'd still be getting blocked out. You double team him, triple team him, it's easy. You can scheme around one guy when he's not the threat he used to be.
You're missing my point anyway. My point is
him,
they don't
wouldn't
have
have done
any
much for us.
money. They can't afford to
I
do
agree with Jake
anything.
also. We can find gems within this draft to help this team take leaps and bounds forward earlier, sooner and then later. Sooner than
Sure,
later.
that's the plan. That's
Yes.
the plan. But like
But
you
to
just said,
assume that we
listen,
have to
here's
do it
what
on
you just
money
said.
only?
You just
That's
told
all
me,
I'm saying.
both of you guys,
I'm
hold
just
on.
saying-
Both of you guys just told me I could spend money in free agency. No guarantees it's the right guy. But we're going to rebuild through the draft. We're going to pick a bunch of 21 and 22-year-olds who have never played an NFL game, and that's a guaranteed hit.
We're not saying.
Get out
We're not
of here.
saying. I'm saying. Don't
That is what you're
bank
saying. But
on
that
the
is what you're
$88
saying.
million. Make sure
But
you
that
do
is
your
what
due
you're
diligence
saying.
in the draft this year and the offseason. Don't bank on just $88 million. You're just looking towards next year. Make sure you handle this year first.
Oh, no, I want to handle this year first. And I want
Apparently
this
not.
draft.
You sound like you
I
just want to jump to the next offseason and start wondering who we're signing. That's what it sounds like. You want to get past this year, win 2 games,
Guilty.
lose it
You
all.
got me.
You want to lose 2
You
games,
do.
get a high draft pick,
I'm
and
actually
get your
not
next
planning on
offseason.
watching
That's what
any
you wanna-
football in all of 2022.
Okay.
I'm purely focused on the 2023 season. I think I started the show, Zay, by saying I'm looking to 2023 and beyond, that I want to use this draft to find generational talent if it falls into my lap, with the idea that I don't even care what position it is if I think it's going to help me for the next 10 years. So I
The
started off
rebuild
by
starts
explaining
now.
that.
The rebuild
Sure,
starts
listen,
now.
I
The rebuild's
expect
been
this
started.
team.
It's been going on for years. What do you mean it starts now?
It hasn't. This
No,
is an actual
no.
rebuild.
Last year wasn't a rebuild.
This is
last
rebuild
year you guys,
part one.
last year you
G.
guys tried to retool
Rebuild
a
part
bad
1
Yeah.
G.
Sander, that's what these guys want. They want to go get Russell Wilson and then kind of build like on the fly. That's not worked.
No.
It doesn't work for the Giants.
don't.
The Rams just did it. What do you mean it doesn't?
Me and Sean.
It doesn't work for the Giants.
Yeah,
guys. That's just Zay that wanted to go trade for Russ. Don't group Sean and I in this. Listen, you guys are going back. We're just going.
I'm throwing everybody under the bus.
Listen, yeah, but let's talk about those trades. Listen, let's get back on track. We're going in circles. We get
into it.
The 88 million in 2023. That's going to be big. These 2 draft picks also going to be big. The Giants have a lot of room to grow.
Yep.
Regardless, it's a rebuild. We're looking forward to the future.
New York private sector mandate is being dropped, according to basketball announcers. It's being dropped.
Oh, no kidding! Beautiful. How funny is that?
It's on its way to being dropped. It's on its way.
All right. Well, all right. We were just talking about the moves, the big names. You mentioned it, Sander. What we were talking, you talked about Russell Wilson. We talked about last year. We talked about last week. We talked about Carson Wentz to the Commanders, then obviously Devontae Adams to the Raiders, Deshaun Watson to the Browns, Matt Ryan to the Colts, and the breaking of today, Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins. So many big names getting traded this offseason. But which move puts their team in the biggest and best situation to win a Super Bowl next year? Sean, I'm going to start with you.
All right. I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson and the Browns. I think that Deshaun Watson joins a team that is already ready to win. They have an elite quarterback now in Deshaun Watson. Baker Mayfield just wasn't getting the job done for them, but they have an elite running game. They supplant him with Amari Cooper, a top or number 1 receiver for him, and they have a defense that can win now. So out of all these other teams, I think Tyreek Hill will make the Dolphins better, but I just don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. Matt Ryan to the Colts. Look, I think he's better than Phillip Rivers was a couple of years ago, and the Colts have a team that's ready to win, but I just don't think Matt Ryan is still that elite quarterback that he was when he won MVP. And Russell Wilson to the Broncos, I think that they'll be good. I think that they'll make the playoffs maybe as a wild card, but I just think the AFC is too loaded as a whole, and I don't think the Broncos are ready to win there. So I think the Browns can honestly take over that AFC North. I know that the Bengals are still very good. The Ravens should be good, but I think that is the best chance for a team to win the Super Bowl. I think that you add an elite quarterback with an already good roster around you. So I think that they improve the most, and I think that they're in the best situation to win a Super Bowl next year. Do I think they will? No. But out of the teams that made the big trades, I think that they're best positioned to go and make a Super Bowl run.
All right. Zay, you agree? Is Deshaun Watson the best bet for making the Super Bowl?
Again, I mentioned before, I told you, I'm not putting any investment in any team that's just got put together. You can't do that when there's so many good teams that are like the Bills who didn't really lose anybody. So and they're adding people, so you'll assume they'll be a better team. So just to throw teams in there, they got Russell Wilson, they're gonna be better. Or not. They still got to play a game. I'm not throwing anybody in anything. Obviously, I won't make a decision. I'm sorry.
Again, wouldn't you agree?
No.
Yeah, just answer the question.
Wouldn't you agree Russell Wilson at quarterback is probably going to be better than Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock? Can you admit that, honest to God, really?
Yes, he will.
Really?
He will.
Really?
I agree on that. He will. But I doesn't make them Super Bowl champions in my eyes.
I agree.
I'm not throwing them in that boat. I'm sorry.
I agree. But does it enhance their chances? Yes. And that's all you can do.
As far as Deshaun Watson, no. I'm sorry. Again, I know he's innocent. I feel he's innocent. But the NFL may hand him a suspension. The NFL is going to hand him some type of suspension. I'm just going to keep it a buck. So, I mean, I think you lost a lot for a guy who might not even play the first year, maybe even more after that. So I think that's a hard loss right there. But I think it works out if you're a Giants fan because now you can get Baker Mayfield on discount. I'm just saying.
Stop.
I know you're going to be upset about it, and I know y'all knew this was coming. But
why would you want Baker Mayfield?
Hold on. The man is thrown for over 3,000 yards. The man has put up touchdown numbers plus 25 plus. He has been to the playoffs, and he has won 11 games. And guess what? He's played injured the last year. He looked really bad. At times, he was injured. But Baker Mayfield has shown you times he could be a capable quarterback. And I think if he wasn't facing the pressure of trying to force the ball to Odell Beckham, I think he would have played a lot better at the end of his career than he did. I think he went through a lot with his whole father putting together the whole movie script and whatnot. I think that was a lot for Baker Mayfield. He's a soft guy. Honestly, I don't think if he can handle the New York media, but I think if the Giants could get him for a second-round pick, why the hell not?
No.
Why the hell not?
For a second?
The Browns already said they're not seeking anything more than a second-round pick for him. They've already they're not seeking more than a second-round pick for him.
My thing with Baker is sure, maybe I like the idea of bringing in someone like that to compete with Daniel Jones. Yeah, maybe no, but I'm still not going to do it. Baker Mayfield, huge black eye through his career, especially look now. You have OBJ as soon as they get Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I'll come back and play for the Browns. Jarvis Landry just got cut. Now he's talking about coming back.
And
you have all these guys
numbers than Daniel Jones.
Odell Beckham forced his way out of there because of Baker Mayfield. And now you have Deshaun Watson. Something is up with Deshaun Watson.
Matter of fact, he put up better numbers than Daniel Jones than his full.
And listen, Zay, let me finish. Stop talking over me. Listen, look at this past Super Bowl. You had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, dynamic duo leading them to the Super Bowl. You had Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, dynamic duo going to the Super Bowl. It's obvious that in this league right now, you need quarterback, wide receiver chemistry. When you have a quarterback who has zero chemistry with all of his wide receivers, so much so that the wide receivers are forcing their way out.
That's not true.
That's not a quarterback I want on my football team.
One receiver forced his way out. And he looked great at times before he had Odell Beckham. I think Odell came on the team and does what Odell does. He caused his issues. I'm sorry, we all know it. Joe's mentioned it many times. Odell could be a bit of a cancer in the locker room, and we've seen it. His father made a whole video. We don't got to talk about how much of a cancer he is, but at the end of the day,
but then he went back and
you can say what you want. Baker Mayfield, matter of fact, he played the Giants. He cooked us, matter of fact. And Njoku lit us up. He hit every target that night. Again, maybe he plays better in the middle. I don't know. That's all I'm saying is, if you could get him for cheap, I'd take the fly out on him. His hurt year has been better than almost any year Daniel Jones has had in his whole career at this point. And then again, what if he does play well? What if him and Kenny Golladay does actually play well together? Then you just solved one issue. You've solved one issue and you don't got to solve in the draft no more. It's one less issue you have to worry about that you got on a second round pick.
No. Listen, we'll get to that. If that happens, we can talk about that.
You don't throw 30 touchdowns. You don't throw 30 touchdowns in NFL.
Let's get back to this. That's a good point. You're right. But I mean, I want to get back to this. That's way too. I mean, we talk about all these hypothetical situations. How much did we talk about Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Deshaun Watson?
Russell Wilson was never a realistic thing because of the money.
Okay.
It was never realistic.
Look, listen. We can talk about all this all we want. I want to see it happen. Then we can talk about it more. But let's get back to this. Let's talk about some trades that actually did happen and some quarterback movement that actually did happen. Sander, is Deshaun Watson going to the Browns? Is that the biggest trade as far as like Super Bowl contention goes?
That's one of the biggest trades and surprising trades, being as how that whole situation panned out. You know, he had a meeting, then he was like, nah, I don't want to go there. Then they was like, yo, you sure you don't want to come here? And then they like fixed the whole situation, and then Baker, all this mess. It's kind of a surprise situation. But I think the biggest move that people are still sleeping on are the moves that the Chargers made. The Chargers went out and got Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, that was one of the best corners last season out there for New England. I mean, he led the league in picks. So the fact that the Chargers were able to make those moves, knowing that in that division they have all that offensive firepower, those the Raiders, the Broncos now with Russell Wilson, and the Chiefs, even though they just let go of Tyreek, they still have a pretty solid offense. So the fact that they were able to get a defense that can also go blow for blow with their offense, because we already know Herbert and them Chargers, they're going to light up the scoreboard. There's not too many defenses that are going to hold them to under 25 points. So the fact that they were able to make those moves defensively, I think they are the favorite to win that division, because the Chiefs defense is trash. I mean, if you're depending on Sorensen, to be out there and that's going to be one of your best guys, they just let go of Tyrann Mathieu. I think the Chiefs are taking step backs, whereas the Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos are each taking steps forward. So I think that division, whoever comes out of that division is probably going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I think the Chargers are my pick with the moves that they made to be favored to go to the Super Bowl.
I like that one a lot. I will say, though, with the Chargers, while Khalil Mack, the big thing last year with them is they couldn't stop the run. And while Khalil Mack will help that, I don't – J.C. Jackson –
and Bosa on the other side. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then J.C. Jackson, and then you got Derwin James. Oh, my God.
But still, I mean, you got to stop the run. And that was the biggest question. Khalil Mack will help that, but how much will he help that? He's not going to be a full Band-Aid, But we'll
so maybe they'll address that in the draft.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because that's still
Jordan
happening.
Davis, yeah,
that'd be a good one.
That'd be amazing. I like the Chargers. Joe, which one of these moves is the biggest to you?
Which one is the biggest?
Yeah.
I guess Matty Ryan going to the Colts. That's a really good football team that was doomed by the worst quarterback in the AFC last year, and Carson Wentz. Zay, you were right. Yeah, you were right. I'm with you on that one. I think that team just got infinitely better, and I do think that this makes them a legitimate AFC conference contender. I definitely think that's going to be that's been a good team for a few years, and the quarterback position has been something they have desperately tried to get right. Nobody's worked out. I think this guy is going to be the guy. I think you pair this guy with talent, which, let's be honest, dude, Matt Ryan, it's been a few years since he's had really great talent around him. Especially a running game, a running back. I mean, he doesn't have to do a whole lot now. I'm telling you, that's a scary football team, in my opinion.
So
and I know this. Matt Ryan's not looking at any kind of suspension to start the season. That's for sure.
That is very true. But I think with that, though, I mean, no real number 2 wide receiver will be big. But I mean, Matt Ryan can make those guys. So I like that one. But for me, one that's going under the radar, everyone's talking about everyone else in this division. It's the Devontae Adams trade to the Raiders.
That was my sleeper, Jace.
Everyone's talking about the Chargers and that stuff. I think the Raiders are the favorite in that division. They just got to the playoffs with all the coaching instability. You're bringing in this heralded offensive mind in Josh McDaniels to come lead this team. You have a serviceable quarterback in Derek Carr now reuniting with a college teammate in Devontae Adams, possibly one of the best wide receivers in the league right now. You also have Darren Waller, one of the best tight ends in the league right now. Josh Jacobs, beast running back. I know the O-line's got some issues, but I mean, you got talent like that. I think the talent can hide the O-line issues. And then defensively, you already have Max Crosby, who's a great pass rusher, and you bring in someone, while he did have a down year last year, still possibly one of the best edge rushers in the game in Chandler Jones. The secondary is going to be an issue. I think Trayvon Moehrig will develop into more of his own and really take big steps this year and be like that one star in their secondary. But I mean, this team, they made the playoffs last year despite all the issues they had, and now they're regrouping. This feels like what the Rams felt like last year. Like, the pieces are all there. You feel confident.
You took it too far.
You had us. No, they're not. They're going all in. They're making the moves they need to make. They're doing the best they can to succeed and get ready for next season. And I think that is going to be – everyone's talking about the Chargers, even Russell Wilson being on the Broncos. Everyone is leaving the Raiders' name out their mouth. They just got to the playoffs, more stability, better players. I think can only help them. And especially the Chiefs, big loss in Tyreek Hill.
No, I see where you're going, Jace. I mean, I had them as second right there under the Chargers, but you make great points.
Yeah, I mean, also look at like the numbers Derek Carr had with Amari Cooper. He's never had a wide receiver like that before. Now you got the Avante Adams. Like, they're putting up wild numbers. So I'm excited to see this. I'm
That's
excited
his
to see
boy too from Georgia, if I'm correct.
from Fresno State. Yeah.
State, yeah. So
All right. Okay. That was fun. But all right, let's end it. I got something fun since it is the off season. You could take a time machine, go back and watch any past game live in all of NFL history. What game are you gonna pick, Joe?
The first one.
The first one?
You didn't watch
with the
that
leather
live?
helmets, Joe. With the
Yeah.
leather helmets.
You didn't watch that live, Joe?
Yeah, I want to see Abner Doubleday and some Native Americans throwing the old sack around and kind of figuring it all
What's
out.
that George Clooney movie, Joe? That George Clooney football movie,
Leatherheads?
man. Just go watch that, man. There you go.
If I could go back in time and watch any game live, I'll tell you honestly, if I could go back and watch any game live, it would be the Lawrence Taylor game against the Detroit Lions, where he only had a function on the right side of his body, and he still absolutely devastated the Detroit Lions in that football game. If you don't know the game I'm talking about, Google it, because you'll thank me later.
Yeah, I mean, really, you could go back and watch any game with Lawrence Taylor against the Detroit Lions. I mean, you see it in the intro, that pick. I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah, Thanksgiving game. Thanks, Trev. That's right. It was a Thanksgiving Day game. One of the few times the Giants ever got to play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
He had that 90-yard pick six.
Do you really want to ruin your dinner?
Rather just get the loss out of the way on Turkey Day.
Hey, I mean, if we play the Bears, I'll take that. I mean, the Lions. What the heck? Yeah, if the Giants can get another Lions game. But all right, Sean, what game you going back to?
I would go with the SpongeBob Square pick, and the obvious is probably Super Bowl 42. But I'll go back because I saw that game. I wasn't there live, obviously, but I'd go back to a game I wasn't alive for, and that'd be Wide Right Forever, Scott Norwood, Super Bowl against the Bills. First of all, the Bills had a great team back then with Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, and just seeing the Giants team go against them and shut them down would be a lot of fun. And obviously, getting to see the Giants win a Super Bowl would be a lot of fun. So I would go back to 42 or 46, but I'd pick a game where I didn't see in the first place because I wasn't alive. So I'd go with Super Bowl against the Bills and Wide Right Forever. Giants win their second Super Bowl.
I think I want to change my pick then to Super Bowl 20 against the
No,
Broncos.
just have a second one. Just have a second pick.
I'm going to have a second one. I think the first Giants Super Bowl. Because they were losing at the end of the first quarter, too, before they kind of got on track and blew out the Broncos and John Elway. And that was a really good offense, And we had heard from the year before the Bears were like, defense wins championships. And we were like, does it? Do you need a really good quarterback? We don't really have one. And, again, dude, that was at a time where there weren't a lot of elite quarterbacks. And John Elway definitely was one. And Phil Simms definitely wasn't. And who won that day? And again, that's kind of been the recipe for Giant Super Bowl wins. It all started at Super Bowl 20.
Lightning in a bottle, Joe.
In Pasadena, California, at the Rose Bowl, baby.
What you do, Florida?
All right, yeah, I like those all. I mean, Giant Super Bowls are always going to be great. Who wants to go back and rewatch? Zay, what you got?
I like these guys. I'm gonna do one for the fans and everyone. I'm gonna do us justice. I would go back to the Deshaun Jackson return game. If I was there live,
come on, dude.
Hold on. If I was there live, I'd go there and I'd streak across the field right at that play. I'd ruin the play entirely to make sure it never ever made camera history. I'd wait for the catch and I'd streak right across the field for Giants Nation.
I love it.
The fact that we have to live with that forever on every NFL
rewrite history, yo.
Every NFL preview film, that play is on. I don't care what they're previewing. The Super Bowl, the playoffs, a regular game, that is on. I'm over it. I'm tired of seeing it.
And the worst part was we were just getting over and started to not see the Giants blowing victory formation and Herm Edwards running a touchdown back at the Meadowlands as the Giants again found a way to lose. Just as
When they're up 24 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, dude, just as that video started to teeter off the internet, Deshaun Jackson and that punt return happened. We don't want it.
Y'all must have forgot.
It's the worst play ever. It's probably the worst play in Giants history. It probably is.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm lying. Jake Fromm probably did something worse.
Oh, chill.
Let's
not get into Fromm because that's a whole other 30 minutes. All right.
Yeah.
Dennis
Oh
Fromm.
yeah. Oh, the sneak
Dennis
on
Fromm,
third
according to
down.
Joe.
You're right. Oh, I forgot.
Eddie Fromm didn't like that guy.
All right.
Ever known for the QB sneak on third down? Oh my god. It's terrible.
All right, Sander. We got all the Giants stuff.
All right. Well, I'm
What
gonna
game you going back to?
take the Joe route. First game that I wish I could be at live was that 28-3 comeback Super Bowl win for the Patriots. Even as I'm not a fan of that game of either team, being there and just seeing that atmosphere would have been all for it. My second game would be, remember that year the Saints were hot and undefeated, and they were the hottest team in the league, smoking everybody's boots. And poor little Dallas came through town to New Orleans, and everybody on ESPN, Fox, everybody and their grandmama had New Orleans beaten, and not only beaten, but smacking Dallas. And Dallas went into New Orleans and shut it down. I wish I was there as a Dallas fan because on TV at home, I was going crazy. I went to school that Monday with big Nick Foles energy. You know what I'm saying? And you know what type of energy I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it right now, but you know what type of energy I'm talking about. I went over there, couldn't nobody tell me nothing. And guys, that was like a Super Bowl win for me because for the past 20-something years, I haven't experienced one. So
Yeah.
you
Makes sense as a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, don't give me too much for it, bro. I can
That
only
was his
enjoy,
Super Bowl.
I can
dig
enjoy
that.
these little wins, bro. Let me take that to the bank, okay?
I knew
All right.
that was coming.
So-
oh man, that's your
Damn.
Super Bowl win. He could go back to a
Super Bowl,
relevant
bro.
Super Bowl.
Hey,
I was in diapers when they won, so it really wasn't that relevant for me. You know what
Every
I'm saying?
Dallas,
So,
every Dallas fan wants to go back to the preseason when they're voted favorite. Yo, you guys.
God.
Oh man. Oh.
All right.
How come we don't talk about Dallas' rebuild? Why don't we do that? Dallas
Cause
started the rebuild on the fly.
Sander, when
all
you
the
gonna
time.
start
They never give them
Cowboys
hell for
podcast?
that. They rebuild on the fly all the
Listen.
time. We never give them hell.
listen, I'm no longer a Dallas Cowboys fan. I told you guys that already. I'm
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. I'm a Chargers fan. Okay,
That's
it's
terrible.
fluid. I might be a Raiders fan mid-season, but right now I'm a Chargers fan.
With
Imagine
kids
that.
today with that
Oh.
that being fluid. You can be whatever you
Imagine that.
want.
Jesus.
Giants fans haven't seen the playoffs in this long, and we haven't quit. And y'all, that's
Yeah. Very
I
true.
almost walked that week
Fan
the
base.
Giants traded Odell and cut Landon Collins. I almost walked. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you.
Well, one
Not a
of
good
my
week.
friends did. One of my friends did walk. Now he spun a wheel, and now he's like Sean did on posting up. Make sure you check that out.
Go Grizzlies.
Spun a wheel. Now he's tight.
honestly,
I'm fan base fluid. I'm fan base fluid. Depending on which day I'm feeling, I might be a different team.
All right. But all right, let me wrap it up with this. For my Giants pick, I'm gonna go 2007 Week 17. That loss to the
Ooh.
Patriots, because I mean that's where the energy shifted for the
Love
Giants.
it.
I want to feel that energy in the arena, where I mean everyone.
That was a close game.
Yeah, the Patriots knew that they had been taken to their limit after that game, and the Giants knew that they had just taken the best the Patriots can, and that's where it all started. That playoff run was that
After
Week
that
17
game,
loss.
after that game, I had such a feeling that team was going on a run. I told a lot of people that, and they were like, you think them almost beating the Patriots makes them good? And I was like, that was just something in the way they played that night, Jace. And it
Yeah.
carried over for
Don't
a
you
month.
wish there was FanDuel back then?
I'll be
bro?
honest with you, Joe. I feel like every Giants fan felt there was some type of momentum after that game. I don't think we all felt like they were going to win the Super Bowl, but we definitely felt positive vibes after that game. I'll definitely agree with you on that one. I felt like they had a chance. to win it all. After that game. I had confidence in them. That's the best.
I read an article the day after that game that basically called for Coughlin's head and the get rid of Eli Manning. It was just one more evident that the Giants just couldn't compete with the better teams, and that was their whole thing. They also thought the Giants were gonna, fold up that night, but whatever the case, it was amazing. I like that, Jace. What's your other pick?
My other pick, my non-Giants pick, I got Super Bowl 43, the Cardinals versus the Steelers. That James Harrison 90-yard.
That Larry legend, that Larry slant.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the Santonio Holmes catch. I mean, there's so many just great moments from that game. And, I mean, it would have been fun to experience. And, I mean, how close, 27-23, close.
Kurt Warner
was coming in at the end. And, Kurt Warner.
I've never been comfortable seeing the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. Just doesn't look right.
You don't have to feel comfortable because they always lose them.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. You got to understand, dude, for my entire lifetime, they were a terrible football team, like growing up. You could just pencil them in to suck. Just like the Seattle Seahawks. It's so hard to see the Seahawks as a respectable franchise because from like the mid-70s, to like the 90s, they were terrible. It was just a guarantee they would be terrible.
The Cardinals used to be in the NFC East, right?
Yeah. Yes, and they were awful. They were always at the bottom. Always at the bottom. Always looking up at the Giants and the Skins and the Cowboys and the Eagles. That's how it was back in the day.
You know what team has always sucked consistently? Detroit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, since the 50s.
Yeah.
Yo, Zay, you ain't slick, bro.
Wait,
you
what you
slick, bro?
What were you talking?
Because you in that lonely ass room don't make you slick, bro. I heard that.
I thought you were gonna say the Cowboys. I was just trying to agree with you.
Oh my God.
What my Cowboys think, bro? We don't gotta keep on saying it.
I thought you weren't a Cowboys fan. Why are you offended?
We're on the Giants show. We gotta keep punching at home.
You came to the wrong show if you didn't want shots at the Cowboys. That was You might want to join the TNG morning pregame show if you don't want to get shots on the Cowboys. This is a job about the G-Men. It gets raw over here. Ex Jared, he comes up here with that BS too.
Gonna get ganged up on.
All right. Let's stop the bullying. We'll stop the show.
I'm Team FedEx.
Yeah, but thanks for joining at the flip of a dime there, Sander. Fun having you on. Yeah, I mean that was a fun debate argument, just back and forth. Got wild, but I mean. Solid, and I think it's just both the Giants, regardless. I think both this year and next year have avenues to get better with the draft this year and with free agency next year. So the Giants can get better, even though us as Giants fans we're pessimists, and we gotta always assume that they're gonna blow it. It's a new Dable.
Oh boy, here we go.
I can't wait for the next
Joe Shane is gonna wash away the pain.
I can't wait for the next G-Men intro. I can't wait for the bars Big Jace is gonna throw.
Oh yeah. And then I can't wait till
the last time you did that, you had to eat all those words. Everything. Judge wasn't judging nobody. He was getting judged.
Executioner.
Saquon stars weren't even on his legs anymore. It was a lot that just went on. Maybe we should try something different. Maybe just beats next time. Let's just go with beats.
Huh?
Maybe. Jace.
Nah.
Highlight plays.
Nah. That's why it changed from highlight plays to low light plays. There was a 3rd and 10.
And that worked out well. After that, we did quarterback sneaks on 3rd and 9. It worked out well. I'm never going to get over that.
Listen, there is only the Giants can only go upwards.
Bro, do you realize
you would think you would assume so?
The Seahawks held the worst play in NFL history. They had it. It was them. They had it on their Super Bowl pass over the middle when they should have gave it to Jackson. Marshawn Lynch for the win. That was the dumbest play in football history.
The buff fumble was worse.
Listen, you don't remember that fake
punt? It was actually a reasonable play. It made sense.
With the punter, it was just the punter and the snapper, and everyone else was over there.
Poor Pat McAfee.
bro.
Yeah, that was terrible.
We own the dumbest play in NFL history.
I don't know.
That's just it. Literally.
It's off. Yeah, definitely up there. But all right, that's gonna do it for Sean about the G-Men. Big shout out to Chris Sawyer and Andy McMorgan for sponsoring today's episode. Make sure you go check them out. And big shout out to the Cove Kids Classic. Make sure you check that out May 6th at Lyman Orchards Golf. Joe, got any other words on that?
Are you going to be there? Are you going to sign up? Great prizes, tons of food. We're doing lunch and a buffet dinner, $140.
Going to Top Golf next week to get my swings and get some practice.
I'm telling you, dude, it's going to be a great time. I'm going to host it. We'll do a little after party. It'll be off the
record
charts.
and video everything. I want to see.
Yeah. Sean, I saw it looked like you had a nice swing there.
I'm getting ready for it.
Very nice. All right. But that's going to do it for John about the G-Men. Make sure you check out clovercrestmedia.com. You can catch a bunch of other great sports podcasts and also great true crime, great political podcasts as well. Make sure you check that out. For myself, Big Jace, Joe Aguirre, Sean Scanlon, King Zay, and Sandro Royal Sanchez, this has been John about the G-Men. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
More Giants football. Take care, everyone.
Sanderson looking in, zone for a pass. He's looking for King, intercepted. He's going to go down the right side. Lawrence down to the 20, 30, down to the 40. He might go all the way.
3rd down and 7. Good jump off the line by Strahan, who gets the sack. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyreek.
4-man rush. Eli throwing into traffic on the sideline. They're going to rule it a catch by Manning.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting Clovercrest.